Okay, so let's have an update on what's going on in my garden. We know that I moved a bunch of stuff up here and I got a few new things planted. So let's just take a peek and see what's going on. Asparagus is looking just a little sad. Some of it seems like it's drying out, but if you'll notice, happy dance because the horseradish is coming back. It's got all that nice green blooms out there. We watered yesterday, but I'm going to go ahead and water some of this stuff again today, simply because it's the stuff that I have either planted freshly or the stuff that I moved, because I want to make sure that they're getting plenty of water because it's really hot. I already checked the soil here. Actually right there, I stuck my finger in and it's still pretty moist down there, but I know that with this stuff, I'm trying to treat it like it's the new stuff. And with the new planted stuff, I would be watering it every day, at least for the first couple of weeks anyways. So I figure that's what I'm going to try to do here. I really hope that the asparagus does all right. Hold on. Oh, there she is. I really hope that the asparagus does all right, because I'm super looking forward to being able to be like, oh, you know, tonight we're going to have pork chops. And I love having roasted asparagus and bacon. So I'm really hoping that, like I said, that it turns out and it comes good. I've got Annabelle out here because I sent her to clear the garden before I come in, just to make sure that there's no big critters out here that I don't want to be a part of. She's our little neighborhood hunter. All the dogs are, but she's the only one that really will get it. And my lettuce is looking phenomenal. Mom and I were out here yesterday and we put some diatomaceous earth down, and I put some 7 Dust in some places. But that lettuce, man, putting it in the ground or putting it in a bed, it really took off. And I am very impressed. I keep getting sidetracked with the camera. Sorry about that. So here in just a minute, I guess I could have done this after the fact. Here in just a minute, I'm going to go and lay this down in my bed with the 2 smaller cantaloupe. So I've been a little worried about those because I told y'all, I don't know, a week or more ago, I had gone through and had gone through and tried to trim up the cantaloupe plant because I thought it was looking sad and I needed to trim it. You know, I'm still learning, and so I Googled and it said, yeah, you should probably trim your, not probably, it just straight up was like, yeah, you should trim your cantaloupe. Partly it might be because I didn't know what I was doing, but I feel like when I did that, I harmed the plant, because ever since then, it's just not going well. And it seems like it really wants to die. Let's look at it. So I put diatomaceous earth all over it. I'm going to really let this bed get soaked today because these leaves, some of them are dry, which if they're dry, that means it's not getting enough water. So I'm going to give this bed a really good soaking and hope that it all recovers. These vines over here are doing really good. We can take a peek down here. I'm so excited because it's looking more and more like a cantaloupe. And I don't really know when you're supposed to harvest them. I know there's something about the thump, but I'm really going to have to look into that. So here's one that's growing. And one thing that I read, it said you only want so many, cantaloupe on your vine. Cut off, the weaker fruit and this and that. I'm not going to do that here because I really want to know if it has an effect. So I've really got to keep those other 2 alive so that I can really test my theory. So I'm not cutting anything off on this vine. There's my twins. I'm not cutting anything off on this vine. I'm just letting nature do its thing. There's still an awful lot of buds. So I've seen those two. I don't know what the dogs are barking at. Sorry about that. I've seen those two larger ones, but I haven't really seen anything else. Oh, there's one. It's not very, very big, but it's bigger. And the inside, it's got a lot of dead stuff, but I figure that's probably just because it's not getting as much sun and air. So really, I guess there's only like 3 that are actually developing, but there's still probably 10 or 15 of the smaller ones. The peppers, let's go look at the peppers. These are the bell peppers. They're still green, still looking good. The gypsy peppers, man alive, look at this guy. He's getting huge. And this is the banana pepper plant. There was one. I don't know what happened to it. There's sweet banana. This katydids and crap. They're killing me. The diatomaceous earth doesn't work on them. Our jalapenos, these are getting dark and they're turning red. So I'm probably going to pick those within the next week and have Greg take a bite out of those. Our jalapeno Christmas trees. Oh, it's this one. It's still doing good. It's got sprouts all over the place. And on my last video, I was sitting here like, oh, I can't find my peppers. And they were literally right here in front of me. And when I watched it back, I was like, oh, you dummy. They're right in front of your face. And so, I mean, I've got those 3 and there's some more buds coming on the top. So the peppers are really starting to take off. That was this is the cayenne. This is the serrano. So we've got those serranos. And then this is the habanero. And I think there was actually none on it. I'd pruned it a little bit. We got to go back over here and check the water because I hear it running out the bottom, which is fine. But I want to make sure that both stems are getting some good water. So we've got the end of the vine here, and then I've got the other end of the vine here. So I want to make sure that both are getting good water. This plant just does not look good. Something's going on with the squash and the zucchini as well. Mama checked it and she said she didn't see any signs of the vine borers, but clearly something's going on. And I'm afraid the last time I tied this up, I got too hulk with it and I pulled it out because the roots were exposed down here at the ground. So I tried to cover it back up. I watered it really good, but that didn't seem to help any. But even like this one, this guy looks really good, but my fruit's dying off. So I don't know what's happening here with my squash. I haven't gotten squash in several days. My zucchini, I mean, it's questionable. I've got several on the vine, so let's hope that they continue to grow. But this is the disheartening part about it, because I'm like, you know, I've spent so much time working on these things and now they're just dying. And it could be me and it could not be me, but I feel like it's me. Mama got me an owl because the birds kept eating everything. So we hung this owl up and we actually are getting some sprouts, or not some sprouts, some buds coming back. So that's good. And this guy right here doesn't seem to have anything on it anymore. We got to go check the water again. It doesn't seem to really have anything. So, not really sure what to think about that. I'm going to go ahead and water these really good for a minute. These are my carrots. Well, check that out. I wish I could just put a net over my whole entire garden. That's an awful big net, so it's not plausible. But I wish I could just put a giant net over my garden and keep all of the bugs out that eat stuff. And we've got the chickens now, so I'm gonna be working my chickens into a garden rotation, but they're only going to be here, 10-15 minutes a day. So it's not really gonna cut down on the population. So Corbin had told me this little story about things that these people that had done a chicken run in their garden. Sometimes Tilly just barks. They're also bird dogs, so they see birds and then they just bark. I'm gonna just lay this down in the asparagus and give it some really good water and walk away. I forgot what I was saying. We'll come back and look at the onions here in a minute. Let's go take a look at the okra. It's been growing really well. These things are getting big. There's one right there that I'm gonna clip off. I don't see. I took, I think, 3 pieces. Oh, we definitely got to get that monster out of there. I must have missed it yesterday when I was out here. And then yesterday I took 2, I think, cucumbers off the vine. Of course, I dusted everything with diatomaceous earth, hoping to keep all the critters out. There's a cucumber coming on. And it's really hard to get in there and see them because they are literally the color of the vines. And so I'm like, how on earth am I supposed to see them? And I think that's how I missed. So I do this every time I'm out here. This part of the T-post, it's vertically like distressed. And it looks like a cucumber. And I get so excited every time I see that through the vines. I'm like, oh, there's one. But then once I get closer, clearly not a cucumber. But we still have little buds growing, so that's good. I keep expecting that I'm going to find a giant cucumber somewhere down in the bottom. But so far, I actually haven't. Oops. And I really expected to find some cucumbers out here today. We harvested, I think, 3, maybe 4 of the yellow boys. Oh, goodness. There's several to harvest today. These are looking really good. There's 2 there. And there's one over there right there on the other side. So that's 4. I haven't tried one. Mom said they have a little bit of a lemon taste to them. And I think my tomatoes are getting a little too hot. And somehow in the process of vining, these have fallen over instead of gone up. I must have missed it. I was too busy collecting all my tomatoes and didn't catch it. And if you remember, I was telling you, I don't know, a little while ago, this one was growing that way because I missed those. And so now it seems like I've done the same thing. And plus, I'm guessing the wind and the weight, obviously, of these bigger bushes. So I've got to get those up and get those pinned up there. Oh, man, I have a lot of work to do out here. I don't really think that the onions are going to take root. They don't look swell. They look a little sick. I'm trying to keep them watered as best I can. Everything is still solid. This stuff isn't solid, but the bases, they're still solid, but they're really drying out. So it might be, right about the time that maybe it's close to when they were supposed to be harvested. I don't even know. The seed pods are drying out, so we're going to collect those and probably soon before I lose any more, because you can see we've lost several off of that. We've lost several off of that, and if I don't get them collected, then I don't have seeds. So, and probably within the next several days, we're going to go ahead and harvest these beets, and I have basically given up and given over on the Brussels sprouts because they aren't getting any bigger. They're not forming. They're not doing anything. So I really am not sure what I'm going to do. But whatever kind of monster ate these just obliterated them. All of that work, all of that time, and it's just gone. And that's where I would need a net over my garden. That's what nobody prepares. All the time and effort that you put in, and then you just have nothing. It's very sad, but it looks like I'm gonna have salad in a few days, so that's fantastic. All right, that's all for today. There's a lot of sadness in the garden. There's just a lot of sadness, but I will check in later. Bye bye.